there may be a lot of veterans from other countries that feel abandoned. So now what we want to talk about, we loosely mentioned VA benefits. What kind of benefits do they have access to?
You have access to your VA disability compensation, medical care, your education benefits. You have an array of benefits that are offered to you. The VA home loan is probably offered into certain jurisdictions in certain countries that may, again, be part of the U.S., but not totally within the U.S., right? You have certain places like the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and obviously these are U.S. jurisdictions, but essentially not of the states. All right. However, again, you have authorization to be able to use all your benefits offered to you.
No, absolutely. So now when we're speaking about this, we're referring to the non-naturalized veterans who are no longer living in the United States, right? Because of course, if they were still living in the United States, wouldn't be a question. You would definitely be able to receive all your VA benefits without any problem, and also access your VA loan and things.
True indeed, true indeed. And I'll tell you now, there's also medical facilities overseas that are VA jurisdictions that you can be able to utilize, because you want to make sure that you're utilizing all your benefits. And I can tell you, medical care is one of the number one benefits that is underutilized by veterans. So again, if there is a VA authorized jurisdiction, medical center, clinic, hospital, in your country outside of the U.S., please, please, please go visit that hospital, medical center, or clinic, or whatever. Okay. If you're able to receive your medical care, go receive it.
Absolutely. And that kind of gets into what are some of the limitations, right? As far as receiving benefits, you start talking a little bit about the healthcare. You know, obviously, depending on which country you're in, it may not have access to certain facilities. So can you speak more to, what may be some limitations of our veterans living abroad when it comes to accessing their VA benefits?
Fantastic. So there may be limitations to facilities, right? Medical centers, hospitals, clinics, or anything of that nature. So you may not be able to receive the medical care or your medical needs that's going to be covered by the VA. However, there's other benefits that could be able to cover that. Okay, there's offers that you can be able to cover that. We can go over that in our next video in regards to what forms that you actually need and how to kind of navigate that process. Okay. However, there may be, again, an opportunity to be able to receive your VA disability compensation. Being a deported veteran, how is that even possible? Well, there's access to facilities that you can be seen to be able to do your compensation and pension exams. You can be able to provide your medical evidence to the VA, and they can be able to determine your severity of injury based upon your medical evidence provided, as long as you're actually going through the proper procedures that they're requesting to ask of you. Okay. Being overseas, sometimes you're able to, outside of your country or jurisdiction, there may be another VA facility that you can travel to be able to get treated or seen. Okay. However, that is going to be able to put you in a position to be able to receive your disability compensation. And that's how you're able to do so.
Understood. So now when we're talking about the resources for veterans overseas, so I want to continue to definitely paint a picture here. So if I am a deported vet living in, let's say, Mexico or the Philippines, where do I begin, right? Who can actually help guide me through the process of receiving my VA benefits?
Fantastic. First and foremost, I will always tell any veteran to use va.gov, right? That is your first stop. Okay, that's your first stop. And then you can actually find VA liaisons outside of your country located, okay? But also, you can also be able to find any type of VA service organizations to be able to assist as well. All right. Now those organizations are going to point you in the right direction of what facilities that you're able to be able to receive treatment to be able to actually access your benefits. Okay, so it really depends. There's also nonprofits that are actually dedicated to veterans as well to be able to service you. But never forget, we're here to service you as well. Okay, we could be able to again assist you and navigate that information with you, and we'll be able to get you where you need to go at the highest level.
Absolutely. No, great information there. So now there are cases when VA benefits are being denied, right? So we want to kind of get into the different nuance of that and the legal risks associated with it. So, Kenneth, what I want to ask here is, what are some situations where deported veterans lose their eligibility completely?
So there's a few reasons why veterans can lose their benefits. Again, by all means, we want to make sure that we understand that when we're talking about losing your benefits, we mean it in a way of you're utilizing your service-connected disability benefits. Okay, you're going to lose that. Okay, that compensation every single month. But now, again, obviously dishonorable discharge, where you're going to be even barred from benefits for that period of service. Okay, you can be barred from benefits. Okay, where you don't get anything. All right, fraudulent claims. That's a big one, right? Again, the OIG is constantly doing checks on different files. And again, that's another video we'll talk a little bit more about, okay, the OIG. Who are those, right? Again, we'll talk about that department as well. But then also felony incarceration, right? Again, being incarcerated with a felony, that's how you can actually also limit your benefits. Okay, typically, again, when we're talking about limiting your benefits under a felony, I'll give you one quick insight, is that your benefits can actually be reduced to 10% from let's say you're receiving 100% disability and you're incarcerated with a felony. Now you can actually, you lose your benefits and they will actually decrease it to 10%.
Wow. What? Wait a minute. So that's important on a lot of levels here. So now you're telling me whether you're a deported veteran or whether you're, still as a U.S. citizen, as a felony conviction, you could still receive VA benefits?
Yeah. We definitely can be able to receive VA benefits, even though you're, again, a convicted felon or incarcerated. However, I will tell you that there are certain circumstances that may not always apply. But again, for a regular basis, if you're, again, a convicted felon or a incarcerated veteran, you still can receive benefits. But there's other ways to be able to access the benefits as well. Just because you're not receiving doesn't mean the others don't have access to receive them, because now your dependents can be able to access those benefits as well. But we'll talk a little bit more about that in another video where we can unpack that, truly unpack that, where incarcerated veterans can be a high source of compensation benefits that they deserve because they actually, again, was awarded.
Absolutely, yeah. And for those who are watching and listening, please reach down in the comments. Let us know if you are interested in learning more about that topic or some other topics. We are going to make a full video on that, but if we're able to provide you with some resources and information now, definitely let us know. We'll love to reach out to you to be able to provide you with that information.
Yeah, true indeed. Because I'll tell you right now, there are so many veterans who are missing out and who are not barred from benefits, okay? And just because you're deported does not mean you're barred from benefits.
Absolutely. And that kind of gets to our next point here, right? Because we want to talk about justice now. So we want to know, are there any efforts to bring these veterans who've been deported back home?
Yes. There are growing organizations as legislators who are out here that are trying to pass bills that are actually going to repatronize veterans and actually have them back home as citizens. However, obviously we know our government and we know the process, right? Nothing is fast. So with that being said, we want to especially focus on those deported and non-violent offenses to be able to get those veterans back in safe hands of our jurisdiction of the United States of America, so we can make sure that we're taking care and serving our veterans who served us. Because again, at the end of the day, these are our heroes, and now we are having our citizens sprinkled all around the world. Okay, they fought for this country, so we need to still protect them.
Absolutely. So, as we kind of close out this video here, Kenneth, thank you for all the detailed information here. And now, what is one thing that the viewers should take away from this conversation? And where do people go to learn more about this epidemic of veterans being deported and, so they can really understand how they could really support this cause?
And I'll leave with this. Let's not forget. Let's not forget our fallen heroes. Let's not forget our fallen soldiers, airmen, seamen. And let's not forget our deported veterans. Just because they're not in our country doesn't mean they're not still brothers and sisters of arms. If you're watching, and if you know someone who was deported and is looking for assistance, we can still be able to look into some access to benefits for you. You can be able to call our number here at the down below the video, and we'll be able to provide you, or at least point you in the right direction where you need to go. So please, as veterans and as patriots, let's not forget.
Absolutely, Kenneth. Really appreciate that. And yeah, they definitely need to understand that, hey, you're not alone here. We're all in the fight here together. We support you, and we definitely want to work to, provide all veterans with the benefits that they've earned and they deserve. So, Kenneth, as we send them out today, definitely thanks again, and continue to prepare to compete. We're out. Peace.